Hello students. Yesterday we discussed about law of diminishing marginal utility. Today let's study about law of equimarginal utility from microeconomics unit 2. Law of equimarginal utility. It's a continuation of law of diminishing marginal utility. First of all, this concept, law of equimarginal utility, is considered as to be a situation of consumers' equilibrium. Here we are analyzing the consumer's equilibrium. So what is equilibrium? Equilibrium is a situation in which the consumer obtains maximum satisfaction. According to his spending, the amount what he spent for the commodity or the consumption and the satisfaction derived from the consumption when it becoming equal, we can say the situation is equilibrium. Once a consumer obtained equilibrium, he will not be interested to change the equilibrium. He will not be able to deviate from the equilibrium. He will remain in that point where he obtained equilibrium. Is it? And it is used on the basis of marginal utility, MU. Here we are again using the concept of MU. We are not using the concept of TU. So once again, according to the consumer, if the consumer is in equilibrium, he will be obtain maximum satisfaction according to the amount spent for buying the commodity. That's a very important thing. According to the amount spent for buying the commodity. So let's discuss this concept on the basis of this consumer's equilibrium. So consumer's equilibrium can be discussed on the basis of two aspects, or on the basis of how much amount the consumer is spending, is able to spend for the commodities. First case is that the consumer, if he spend entire amount for buying one good, single commodity, that is single commodity equilibrium. Second case, if the consumer spend this amount for buying two goods in the market, not only one good, if he spend amount for the buying of two goods, consumer obtain equilibrium. That is two good approach and two good equilibrium. Today let's study about consumer's equilibrium with the single commodity equilibrium. So single good approach or single commodity equilibrium. So before going to analyze the single commodity equilibrium, once again, equilibrium is a situation in which consumer obtained maximum satisfaction. He might have obtained maximum satisfaction from the consumption, from the amount spent. We can call it as the equilibrium condition. So as I told you, all the theory is based on some assumptions. Let's discuss the assumptions once again, what we discussed before. First assumption is that this theory is based on cardinal measurement. Cardinal measurement of utility that we discussed in the law of diminishing marginal utility. You know what is cardinal? Utility can be measured in terms of numbers. Means the amount spent for buying the commodity should be equal to the satisfaction derived from that one. That we can measure in terms of numbers. Cardinal measurement of utility. Second assumption is that consumption should take place continuously. Consumption should take place continuously with the proper units. Proper consumption should take place continuously. There should not be no change in the units of consumption at all. That's the second assumption. Third one is regarding the quality of the product. Quality of the commodity remains constant. Third one, quality of the commodity or the product, what we are using here for the consumption, should remain constant. And fourth one is that the consumption should take place continuously. Continuous consumption. Consumption should take place continuously in the economy. All these points we discussed. Once you learn this assumption, that you can use for other theories also. And what was the last point? You remember that? Regarding that one, I told you to follow that instruction. rational. Consumer should be rational in numbers. Means rational means what? The consumer tries to consume maximum satisfaction from the consumption. You remember the example of water bottle what I told yesterday. So I think you are now today a rational consumer, is it? So these are the 5 major assumptions. Once again, it's based on the cardinal measurement of utility. Second one, consumption should take place in continuous process with continuous unit. Third one, quality of the commodity remains constant. Fourth one, consumption should take place continuously in the situation. There should not be any gap in the consumption. And last one, consumer should be rational in consumption. He will try to obtain maximum satisfaction from the consumption. Considering all these assumptions, let's analyze how we can obtain equilibrium if we consume one commodity in this one. And one more assumption is also we have to study regarding to this theory. That is a special one for this one. Marginal utility of money should remain constant. That also we have to study as a part of this theory. MU of money should remain constant. Then only we can purchase the commodity. If the MU is changing, means the importance for money is increasing or decreasing. That should not be there. It should remain constant. These are the 6 major assumptions of this theory. First 5 we learned yesterday. This is an additional assumption for this concept. Clear? Considering this matter, let's analyze. Suppose a consumer purchases one commodity in the market. A consumer, he purchases commodity X in the market, or he purchases good X in the market according to the price. Definitely, the consumer, if he spend some amount for the purchase of a commodity, he will try to obtain maximum satisfaction from the consumption. Because he want to get maximum satisfaction, maximum utility of the commodity. Understood? And definitely before buying the commodity, we will check about the price of the commodity and its utility, how much utility we can derive from there also. Everything will consider. According to that only, if the price is less or price is affordable for us only, the consumer is purchasing a commodity from the market. Otherwise, he will not purchase. He will wait till the price comes down or till the price will reach according to his capacity or according to his affordability. Then only a consumer will purchase the commodity in the market. Clear? And when it will be equilibrium, consumer will be in equilibrium. That's the important thing. Consumer will be in equilibrium when marginal utility of money should be equal to the utility what he derived and price of the commodity. That's the first condition. MU of money should be equal to MU of the commodity derived, means MU of utility in terms of utils. In terms of util divided by price of the commodity should be equal. Marginal utility derived from the consumption of the commodity, the ratio of these two with the price should be equal to the utility of money. Means how much he spend, he should get that much satisfaction. Suppose I spend 10 rupees there for the purchasing of a commodity, I should get 10 utils of satisfaction from the consumption of the commodity. Otherwise, I will not buy the product. That's human nature. We will try to obtain maximum satisfaction. Or in other terms, we can say, second condition we can say MUX is equal to PX. In normal sense we can say the consumer should be obtaining maximum satisfaction from the consumption. The price of the commodity, how much he spent, should be equal to the utility what he derived from the consumption. This is the equilibrium condition in case of a consumer. Then let's analyze if this is equilibrium I told you. If the situation is more than or less than, what happens in the economy? First case, if MUX is greater than PX, what will be the situation? If MUX is more than PX, we can say there is no equilibrium condition. Equilibrium is not existing here. There is no equilibrium in the economy. Disequilibrium exists. Means what is the why it is disequilibrium? Consumer is able to obtain more satisfaction than the amount spent. Means the benefit is more and the amount spent is less, because he spent less amount but is getting more satisfaction. Benefit is more, satisfaction is less, and he will continue the consumption. He will continue until when MUX is equal to PX. He will continue. And after some time, definitely we know that continuous consumption of one commodity, the satisfaction will come down and he will be obtaining equilibrium in the economy. That's the first condition. Suppose if the MUX is greater than PX, that you have no doubt along the conditions. Is it? And second situation, this is first case. Second situation, if MUX is less than PX, what happens? We can say there is no equilibrium in the economy. No equilibrium in the economy. Disequilibrium exists. Is it? Means he got less satisfaction only than he spent more money. Is it? So what he has to do? He has to reduce the consumption. He has to reduce because amount he spent more. More amount is spent but satisfaction less. So what he has to do? He has to spend more. Sorry, he has to reduce the consumption unless until PX is equal to MUX is equal to PX. Is it? Because he has to obtain satisfaction, he got less. So reduce the consumption, then he has to obtain the satisfaction with the MUX is equal to PX. So once again, in other terms, we can say if the consumer consumes a commodity and its satisfaction is like this, MUX is less than PX, he is not in equilibrium and he has to reduce the consumption to raise the total satisfaction in the economy. So then only he can obtain equilibrium. Clear now? So once again, if the situation is more than, MUX is more than PX means disequilibrium exists. Same like that time means the consumer will try, he will buy more and more goods to get more satisfaction. And finally what happens? Law of diminishing marginal utility will happen. More of commodity consumed, satisfaction diminishes, he will obtain equilibrium. In the opposite case, his satisfaction is less, amount is more. Then what he has to do? He has to reduce the consumption. You don't need to spend more. And he has to raise the total satisfaction in that level where, according to the amount spent. These are the two disequilibrium situation and we have to obtain equilibrium. So let's see how can you obtain equilibrium with the help of a table and diagram. Same table we have to draw like yesterday. But here one thing only, two things are different from that one. First of all, it is the units of commodity X, MUX and PX. How much consumed means I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Price of the commodity I told you it remains constant. The price of the unit is 10 and the satisfaction what he derived is yesterday's MU. You remember that? 20, 16, 10, 4, 0 and minus 4. Okay. This is the table. Listen, see this one. Table consists of 3 columns, unit of commodity X, MU of X and P price of X. Price remains constant, not changing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 units consumed. MUX is shown there. First unit of MU 20, then 16, 10, 4, 0, minus 4 or minus any number we can write, no problem in this regard. Anyway, satisfaction diminishes. Is it? Utility diminishes. That's only the concept. And here from this table we have to find out where did we find the equilibrium here. Which point we got the equilibrium. That is the equilibrium point in terms of a commodity. Is it? Can you find out where is the equilibrium point where MUX should be equal to price. MUX should be equal to price. See, here it is 20, it's 10, not equilibrium. 16 and 10, not equilibrium. Yes, 10 and 10. This is the equilibrium point where MUX is equal to PX. Is it? See, equilibrium. Equilibrium point means at the unit 3, price of the commodity is equal to the satisfaction derived. In previous cases, see, previous cases, price of the commodity is less. Here it is price is less, utility is more. Means MUX is greater than PX. Utility is more means because of utility more, he spent less amount only, the consumer continued the consumption. Till when? Till we obtain equilibrium at the point 10. The same situation what I told. Law of diminishing margin utility happened. Consumer more and more unit of a commodity consumed. Satisfaction came down and finally obtained equilibrium at the point 3. MUX of is greater than PX. Next case you see that. Is it? Here it is MUX is less than PX. Or PX is more than MUX. Utility of X is less than PX. See, definitely what he will do, he will stop the consumption. He will reduce the consumption. Why? There is nothing he is getting. No satisfaction coming down. He will stop the consumption unless until he will obtain satisfaction. So he will stop it and he will think the next option to get it and he will go back to the equilibrium. That is the second condition. Clear now? Then let's depict this point in a diagram. See, same diagram of yesterday's one. What we wrote? Units of consumption X 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a Y, this is Y dash. Because in our marking we have minus, negative. Maximum is 20. 4, 8, 12, 16 and 20. Here it is minus 4, minus 8. Okay. Clear. Let's mark that. One unit 20. Next one 16. Third one 10. Fourth one 4. Next, fifth one, it's a little bit difficult. 4, fifth one 5, and next one minus 4. Let's draw with a scale, okay? Yes, almost correct. If you are using scale, you will get the correct one. This is the curve. Which curve? MU curve, MU of X. You can write MU of X. Any one up or down, you have to write MUX. All diagrams in your marking, you have to write what is mentioned on x-axis, what is y-axis, what are the curves or diagrams you drew, you have to write the denominations. What is the point regarding that one. And one more thing we have to draw, price line. Price remains constant at 10. It will be somewhat here, okay? Yes. This is the price of X. See that this price line is a straight line parallel to x-axis. Price means price remains constant. We can write that. Price remains constant at rupees 10. Correct. Price remains constant rupees 10. And this price line and margin utility became equal at the point 3 where equilibrium obtained. See that at this point this equilibrium is there. We can call the point as E. If you are drawing from this point to x-axis, it should touch the 3. Correct. This point E is the point where MUX is equal to PX. That is the equilibrium point where MUX is equal to PX. And in that point, two conditions were satisfied if you are saying. One is MUX is equal to PX. Second one is that MU of money is equal to MU of X by price of X. That also we can say. These are the two conditions of equilibrium where the single commodity, the consumer consumed single commodity and form the equilibrium. Once again, let's sum up. At the point 3, price of the commodity is equal to utility of the commodity. And in this diagram, this point 3, we can see that at the point E, MUX is equal to PX and MU of money is equal to MUX by PX. This is the equilibrium with the single commodity approach. Hope you enjoyed the class.